Greetings, fellow explorers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to The Tribe Must Survive, Episode 5, Mapping the Wilds. What to research next will be up to you. So we could do Tinkery 2, same cost, and increases the research a little bit more. We could add more stone pit workers. With that said, our current stone pit has only 186 of the original 500 stone left. So there's a very finite amount of stone even left in the stone pit. We could gather mushrooms faster so that we could unlock more spiritual research. Or we could save up for tier 2. And to read off the tier 2 bonuses, forestry increases the lumber camp tree growth by 100%, so they regrow trees better. Swift stalkers increases the hunter's movement time, so they move around to their prey faster. Sleeping tent time. We sleep faster in our tents, recovering our sleep quicker. Brighter fire increases the inner light radius of the fire by 1, so that the fire is brighter, but not at an increased wood cost. Powerful visions. Spirit lodge, spiritual aspect progress through rituals is increased 10%. Basically, you get 10% extra for each medicine consumed. And that stacks 3 times. Crowbars. Stone pit production time is reduced. Pair tinkering, so that each tinkery can employ more workers. Range. It increases the range of your farms by 1, and that stacks twice. Farm workers. Increases the amount of people that can work at farms by 2, and that stacks twice. Economical flames. Increases or decreases the amount of wood needed to burn in beacons, so that they're more efficient. And those are the tier 2 bonuses. And if you're wondering, the tier 2 cost is just research points. It's not actually food or wood or anything like that. And you want to save up for tier 2. Got it. I'm going to run another yellow ritual here. We're about to get the first aspect of the spiritual, the servants of the shepherd. It's probably getting unlocked any minute now. Probably hour 4, I'd imagine. Nope, hour 5. A decision between 2 aspects can be made. So, what aspect to unlock? Focus Carcosa or mushroom overgrowth? So focus Carcosa is that the members in the tribe all gain +2 to their conscientiousness as part of their personality. Or mushroom overgrowth. Mushrooms grow faster so that they can be harvested faster. One minute to vote on that. No, I can say I'll decide later. So the conscientiousness. I might as well show you that too. So here is the conscientiousness of personality traits. And people that are particularly conscientious might be Zavram. He's a conscientiousness of 3, which triggered his reliable worker. Meaning that he, because of his high conscientiousness, harvests lumber, stone, and ore at an increased rate. So it won't necessarily help someone that has really low conscientiousness, like Perora, who has a -2. It will bring her up to 1. But anyone with like a conscientiousness of 1 or 2 might benefit becoming a particularly conscientious member of our tribe. and that's what you guys wanted. So in picking that, what I suspect we will find is a whole lot of additional reliable workers within our ranks. There are essentially all the people that were particularly conscientious to begin with that are now reliable. And I am going to assign them work that they should fulfill, because they only really have benefits from certain workplaces. So we did just get a new immigrant who is going to be a good tinkerer, Gonk Coco. So I'm going to name him New Tinkerer. So we have the original Tinkerer and the New Tinkerer. And then, scrolling down, let's go ahead and have Amonum be our second stone pit miner. So we have 2 people that are reliable workers at the stone pit. And then to make sure that everybody else that is reliable is a lumber camp worker. So Fruv Coco should not be a crop farmer, because there is not a benefit from him being a crop farmer. Or a medicine worker or anything like that. So I'm going to move some employment around to sort of min-max the bonus of conscientiousness. With that said, between imaginative thinker and reliable worker, I think imaginative thinker, being much more rare of a trait, is much better suited for being a tinkerer. Okay, so everybody that has reliable worker is now working at a place that benefits that. Choice. Another choice. Filling crops. The farmer, Folol, has discovered that one of the plants in his field seems to yield exceptionally large and sweet corn cobs, much bigger than the ones of the other plants. So, the choice. I can give the extra boon out for food, buffing my food by 50, or use them as seeds that they will improve the next harvest. So for the next 10 days, crop yields from the farms will be higher. Okay, it's a runaway pull. We're going to use them as seeds. So what that looks like, if I take a look at my crop farms, every time we harvest, we kind of just get double food, I think, is how that translates. Here it is. Food needs +1. Essentially, like, everybody that eats... I think the way it means is everybody that eats gets additional food need met. So, like, when we eat, we have a reduction in food needs. So essentially, we don't need to eat as much to fill up because of the food is so nourishing. Maybe that's a misinterpretation, but I think roughly that's how that translates. And we've been doing a pretty good job of keeping the lights on. Here we go. Journey ends. We have our 2 explorers returning back to the camp, troubled, but they brought back some wood and some food. And then, if we take a look, we have discovered a section of the Outer South. And what we could do is deploy another journey team. Well, actually, I'm going to wait, because in order to fully supply the new team with wood, we draw down our wood stockpile dangerously low. So, did that wood just... No. That wood actually got designated, and I needed to undesignate it. The other thing is, I know that those members have critically bad spiritual needs, so before it becomes terrible for them, I'm going to have them attempt a ritual, hopefully. So that is Kovhul, who's going to bed. and Fulrig who's going to bed. So maybe they don't actually benefit from this. We're also about to get a Disciples of the Beast aspect. But some of the people that are attending this ritual do have spiritual need anyway. So even though the ones that are most critical aren't attending, it seems, there is some benefit. There's unassigned tribe members. We have some super good crop yield right now. I would love to build extra crop farms, but I just can't afford it wood-wise, because crop farms are rather expensive. So the new people are just going to be tree cutters. And here is the spiritual aspect choice of Disciples of the East. Music and play, or fermented fruit. So music and play is that everybody in our community becomes open to experience. Fermented fruit is that discontent goes down, but they sleep longer in their tents. So our current discontent is low. No one's all that critical at the moment. There's a few people that are high, but they were explorers, so they weren't having their needs met. And then openness to experience is another personality trait that I believe drives people that are really good at tinkering. I think. That's what it seems like. I'll check the other tinkerer. Yeah. So choosing music and play will potentially give us additional tinkerers. And then choosing fermented fruit will lower discontent, but make people have to sleep longer. So there's the spiritual choice that you can choose for aspect of the beast. Once we hit about 200 wood, I can also consider a new search, because we really didn't discover. It would show, much like you see the icons here, it would show if there was any strategic resources there, like green or yellow mushrooms or relics. So nothing was discovered, but we also didn't search very much. We've only discovered 50 or 25%. We need to discover at least 50% to even consider annexing it as an outpost. So there is a minimum threshold of discovery. You can't just annex something totally unknown to you. And we are about 3 days into the corrupted firewood. Managing it pretty well, I think. Alright, the night horn just got sounded, and as soon as I can run another ritual, I intend to. Because we have a lot of people that have unmet spiritual needs. So like back-to-back rituals. And I'm hoping that the people with the most spiritual needs are the ones in attendance. So Quahul, yes, is going. The other one that was like, I really wanted to go was Fulrig, who is also joining. Good. Music and play. All right, so let's make that choice. So as a result of that choice, if I take a look at tribe members, we have a lot more tinkerers now, just as I analyzed. So we are building a conscientious and open to experience tribe, essentially. You need sleep. But yeah, because of our careful curation, everyone more or less has really positive traits. If we hit about, let's say, 250 wood, I will send out another exploration party. Let's take a look at our other explorers out on a journey. Their spiritual needs are not quite critical yet, but getting there. The other thing is the increased cost. The first tier of Disciples of the Beast and Servants of the Shepherd cost 50. Now they cost 100. The bonuses are applied to everyone, yes. So as soon as they join, they inherit essentially the culture of our people, meaning that they will immediately have the bonus to openness and conscientiousness. Okay, here is our other journey to the north, people. So if you're wondering, We See a Strange Light is grayed out because I am missing a requirement here. Which is why it's not a choice. Approaching a large swamp, we stop to decide which way to go. Finding a path through this might be dangerous, but taking the long way around the swamp will cost us a lot of time. We did analyze that it might be wise, given their high levels of spiritual need, that we could turn back. So trying to cross it has a 15% chance to kill one of us, a 35% chance to worsen sleep needs and drive up discontent, and a 50% chance that no negative modifier will be applied. And trying to find a way around it drives up sleep need a lot and makes traveling to the next sector a lot more costly, which is not an issue if we turn around, however. So there are the choices. And we have Perora and Perig, who have 40 and 35 discontent. And you can also see the amount of discontent that they got added for travel. So it was 23. So they got a lot of their discontent just from traveling around. And as you can see, their spiritual need is -2 and their social need is -1. They did get the Sanctuary of Light, which helps a little bit, but it's not offsetting too much. And then you can also see the amount of food and wood that was used. So you use a lot more food, a lot more wood than food, which is why I tend to bring a lot more wood than food. And we're turning around. I'm going to turn back. Assume that was the ultimate choice there. Okay, we do, however, have the first negative permanent trait. So Kavhul here has Weird Gleam as a negative personality trait. And without spoiling too much, that is a result, as you can see, the same symbol here. It's a result of having hit a negative spiritual need crisis, which causes them to be an unproductive member of our tribe. Again, I know what it really means. I'm being coy. I'm trying not to spoil anything. But if we take a look at Kavhul here, every now and then they're going to go and do something totally unrelated to what they're supposed to. They're an outsider in our community, I think is maybe a non-spoiler way of putting it. We do, however, hit the roughly 250 wood that I wanted to start a new journey. So let's go ahead and load them up and pick people that are like really of sound body and mind for this. So you, do we have any discontent nearing single digits? Yeah, but a tinkerer. I'll go with 0 and 10. That's fine. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to continue to the south, where the last party picked up, or left off. So we have 1 to the south, and then the journey to the north is returning now. The corrupted firewood is 6 days left, or 5 days, 20 hours left. It's being managed. And then we have 8 days, 8 hours left of filling crops, where our food needs go down. We're saving up for tier 2 research. That's what you all voted on. So that requires 135. What I could do is, should I build a third tinkerer? Or tinkery, technically, but whatever. Build a third tinkery. We have the stone, so I'll pull for it. Protection or improvement? Okay, I'll pull for that later. So this is regarding the first faction schism, essentially. So, the way this works is worries about the future keep rising among the tribe members, leading us to heated arguments. Some say that we should focus on protecting what we already have, while others claim that stagnation will lead us to ruin. So we can prioritize protection. And the people that would like protection gain opinions and have positive moods as a result. But some people that want improvement will be upset. The same is true of choosing improvement. Some people will be upset, and some people like it. Or, alternatively, we can spend our influence to say, hey, let's not pick sides. Neither will help us right now. So the benefit of protection and improvement is part of philosophies. Protection decreases fear, increases productivity, but decreases research. Improvement decreases discontent, increases research, but decreases productivity. So I'm going to go with protection. What were the choices? Protection, improvement, or neither? Use influence to not take sides. And there's likewise a poll of the opposites. So these are essentially opposite spectrums. So we might also be offered the same sort of pull towards freedom or control. Freedom being growth at the cost of influence, and control being influence with the reduction of riot and panic. And as promised in the preliminary poll before I even started streaming, I am not weighing in on these. They're yours to vote on. Hey, Raw. It goes pretty well. Actually, very well. We're managing splendidly, I think. having passed the first crisis event with no critical moments, and it looks like we're making a major decision here, which is essentially picking between two philosophies, between protection, which is a reduction in fear, increase of productivity, but a reduction in research, or improvement, driving down discontent, increasing research, but at the cost of productivity. And it's close, so if you want to vote, have at it. Now, what I will say without spoiling too much is that it is possible to win picking any of these philosophies, but some of these philosophies will make it easier to win than others. In my opinion. Again, totally my opinion. My not expert opinion is that some philosophies are better than others. Some philosophies will make it easier to win than others, but of which I will not say. This is for you to discover through trial and error and your own play, because in the 45 minutes I have left in the stream, you're not going to know the answer, which is probably for the best. If the game interests you, I am not spoiling anything, really. So it looks like we're going with improvement. So as a result of this, what you're going to see here is in the tribe members, we are going to start to see factions build up. Factions between the protection camp and the improvement camp. But the immediate benefit is that the amount of research points that we get will go up as a result of embracing improvement, and tribe discontent will go down as embracing improvement. But general productivity will be hurt as well. So tribe members that belong to one or the other, so here is an example. Rhadamant is a member of the, or wanted improvement to be prioritized. So they are a faction of the improvement faction as a result. And as a result of that, has a loss of discontent. So as you can see, a minus 0.1 discontent as a result of the improvement choice. Alternatively, not everybody was thrilled. So Rumfram here is a skeptic about improvement. And does not side with that faction as a result. They are more erring towards joining protection. So you have a schism where you're, in other words, sort of pitting members against one another, or alternatively, you can always use your influence to not take sides. And this is reminiscent of Frostpunk. Frostpunk kind of has like siding with the worker class or siding with the overseers, right? You have these sort of schism choices to make, which are tough choices, both with their benefits and deficits, or alternatively using influence to not take sides. Now, currently, we still have the ability to use our influence to, once we hit 100, which will be in a few days, right? We are 13 shy of 100, so in about 2 days and change, we can hit that 100 mark. We could decide to drive up tolerance or drive up stability, if you guys want. The protection that or the improvement that we just sided with helps to reduce discontent, which should help to bring our discontent down. But that doesn't necessarily mean it will. I mean, there's other events that might happen. And we also just discovered green mushrooms, which is up here. I am going to do that. I am going to start harvesting green mushrooms. It's actually really not that far. They were there. I think, who mentioned that? Raven Moonstar, you mentioned, I believe I saw in chat that they were there. What was required, because I knew they were there too, I just didn't want to spoil it. What was required was that an explorer needed to go over there and like essentially stake the claim or be a cartographer and say, hey, there's mushrooms here. And those mushrooms really are not that far from our core of our fire radius. It's just that it took up until now to discover them, which is an awfully long time if you ask me. But it was all left to chance. So now I have people working to collect green mushrooms. And green mushrooms can be consumed daily, and maybe I'll put a poll about that. They can be consumed daily to reduce fear, or used in rituals to increase disciples of the beast. What was the other poll option that I was doing? I was polling for something. Oh, whether or not we illuminate, build illuminating beacons for the mushrooms. Do we illuminate the mushroom collection spots? Yes, no, or wait until the wood, corrupted wood is done. Oh, and the third tinkery. That's what it was. Let me save this and ask about the tinkery. Do we build a third tinkery? So alternatively, there is this, once you unlock tier 2, you can get pair tinkery, which allows you to employ 2 tinkerers in the same tinkery. Or we could just have 3 tinkeries. It's up to you. So tinkeries cost... I want to pause this for a second so you can have a little bit more of an informed decision here. So tinkeries, at the moment, due to the fact that we're in Act 2, cost 63 stone, which is just about half of the stone that we have. The reason why I wanted to wait is that once we find ore in the outside world, all of the tier 3 research here costs copper, which can only be found, except for some weird exceptions that are just chance, can only be found in the outside world. And getting copper is costly. Getting copper costs an ore mine, which is stone. And then for a trade post to be built to bring that copper ore back home, and then a furnace costing 270 stone to be built to smelt the copper into ingots. The reason I mention that is there may be additional stone on our home tile, but we have 109 stone, and there's only 141 of it left. So if I spend too much stone right now, I am simply not going to have the stone to build a furnace to be able to smelt ore into copper ingots. So using your stone wisely, i.e. not spending it for frivolous things or things that are nice to have, but saving up for a furnace is important. With that said, yes, we don't have enough between what we have stocked, but if we spend a lot of it right now, it will be even harder to obtain. Because if we find a new stone site on our home tile, the new stone site will not be close to our pit fire. As you can see, it has to be further out than where we have explored. So the choice is yours, ultimately, of course, but I'm just letting you know that stone is a finite and precious resource. And if I analyze the map out here, it might be possible to even see the stone site. No, I don't see the stone site yet. So it could be close-ish, like it could be right here, or further out. I don't know. It requires our explorers to make that discovery. If we were close to having what we needed for the furnace, what is more realistic is that we discover stone outside and we start importing it slowly through our trade, our trade post. But you can also demolish things to recover stone. So if we're just a few points away We could break down a yellow medicine farm or a green medicine farm, which would be unfortunate, but it would return some stone to us, albeit only a third of what we invested, to be able to afford what we need. Run, members, run! I may consider moving the alarm to 8 p.m., giving them a little extra time to get home. Okay, we are not currently going to build a third tinkery. Got it. You can always get more research through improved tools and pairing tinkering without having to spend stone, right? Neither of these cost stone. So there's ways to boost research rate other than building a new tinkery that does not cost you stone. Which maybe once we get tier 3, you get pair tinkering to double our tinkery rate, research rate. All right, we are pretty close to Servants of the Shepherd. We have a little over 4 days left of corrupted firewood, but our wood supply is going up real nicely because I have heavily invested in lumber camps. You can really never have enough wood or food. And I'd like to get our spiritual need numbers up to the 1.5 range or so. I could do a check here. So we have one of our journeymen reaching critical levels, gleam levels, weird gleam levels. And I meant to check up on the weird gleam to show you the effect of weird gleam. I think our explorers are the only ones that are pushing gleam limit. Let's see if our gleamer here is gleaming yet. Because every now and then what will happen is they will, to reference RimWorld, because I play a lot of RimWorld, they'll have sort of psychotic breaks, mental breaks, where they just don't work. They go wandering off on their own, not contributing to anything. So, here's a choice. A weak, shriveled wail echoes through the forest. As our journey pushes forward, we quickly come across the source of the noise. A figure laying limp against the roots of a sprawling tree, whose branches reach towards the sky like fingers. The figure seems too weak to even look towards us. The reason quickly becomes apparent. The tree itself not long ago grown over the dead wanderer, covering him almost completely, as if the two had become one. Something hangs on the man's chest, in a hole between the bark and leaves. It is green medicine, 24 of it. So we have a 50% chance to gain 24 green medicine, or 50% chance to gain 25 fear, or we can leave it for 10 fear. And the last option is not available to us, which is a reduction of fear and gaining half of the medicine. Looks like, given that's a bit of a runaway pull, we're going to go for the medicine. Nope, we get the fear instead. Rosadre reaches through the hole into the tree flesh, straining to reach the item. But as he tries to pull it out, the tree's hold feels tighter somehow. Try as he might, his hand gets stuck inside. Panic sets in, and he begins to frantically yank his hand out of the tree's hold, cutting it against the bark. With his own blood smeared around the hole, he finally manages to set himself free. what to do. We have a lot of resources, but our fear and discontent is building, and our spiritual need and sleep needs are building. Do we turn back or go further? Leave that up to you as well. It's always funny to have these exploration crises right as you're running a ritual, because then you're stuck with the ritual music. Not stuck. I kind of like it. All right, looks like we're going further. They weren't reaching crisis levels of spiritual need, but they're not having a good time on this journey. Thank you for tuning in to The Tribe Must Survive, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 22nd. If you have any questions or feedback for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that I've asked for no spoilers or backseating. It is important that the viewers do not have this game spoiled for them. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow tribe members.